Hello, welcome to Rough Cut Film Review. If you like film reviews, you've come to the right place. So before I start, quick plug to the jingle competition. Write a jingle, send it to me, and I will take it and use it for Rough Cut Film Review, and you don't get anything but a credit saying that you wrote it. So what a tremendous opportunity there is there. If you're interested, get in touch on roughcutfilmreview@gmail.com. So, a review of The Other Guys. Now, this is on here purely because it's on Netflix. I missed this in the cinemas, but there are a couple of interesting aspects. I just wanted to talk about this buddy cop comedy, so I thought I'd just do a quick review. It stars Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. As I said, it's a buddy cop film. They're two chalk and cheese detectives who end up making a great team as partners. It's directed by Adam McKay, the same guy that brought us Anchorman, which for my money is an absolute stone cold comedy classic. Again, starring Will Ferrell. So the start of The Other Guys, we're introduced to these two superstar detectives who everyone loves and the protagonist aspire to be, played by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson I think he's called, and Samuel L. Jackson. They're the cool guys that everyone loves. There's a very funny chase sequence at the beginning involving them, and it turns out, there's machine guns firing and they're destroying the city, and then of course it turns out that the criminals had a bit of weed on them or something like this, but no one cares because everyone thinks they're great. They date beautiful women and there's nothing that they can't do. It's a really good setup, and then we're introduced to our sort of slightly nerdy detectives, our protagonists, and it works really nicely. Now, we have the basics here, but the film is dragged down to mediocrity by virtue of the fact that they didn't work hard enough on it. Firstly, the plot isn't strong enough. The plot is incidental. There's a weak baddie, and it's forgettable. Secondly, the jokes, what there are funny, but there just simply aren't enough of them. And thirdly, the script needed rewriting, and the script isn't good enough. So there's the idea, there's the premise of a good film here that just hasn't been built on. Now, that probably sounds really negative, and I'm sure people will think, oh, Chrissy doesn't like comedies. But it's a shame, it's a real shame in this case, as I honestly think they had something here. With a bit more attention to detail, this could have been a really great comedy. There are running jokes in there with Will Ferrell, and, he's a bit schlubby in this, he's getting on a bit age-wise, but there's all these beautiful women throwing themselves, and there's a running joke there, which is funny, it's amusing. There's a running joke with homeless people having sex in his Prius. It might not be highbrow, but I was laughing, and it's just a shame that they're the exception rather than the rule. The film is too long, goes on far too much with nothing really happening, and it's a real shame. There just isn't enough in here, unfortunately, to elevate it above any number of average comedies, and they got the hardest bit right, in my mind. The hardest bit is the stuff between Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, and that's really good here. It's really nice. It's just a shame they didn't do more with it. Kind regards, Christopher Thomas.